Betrayed by my husband and best friend. How I discovered their affair and fought to reclaim my life. I thought I had the perfect life. I really did. My name is Claire, and I married the man of my dreams, Derek, when I was just 25. He was everything I had ever wanted, charming, successful, and incredibly devoted to me, or so I thought. And then there was Lily, my best friend since high school. We were inseparable. She was the sister I never had, the one person I could always rely on. Together, the three of us made the perfect trio, or so I believed. But everything changed one cold evening in late autumn. It started with a phone call. I was sitting at home, sipping a glass of wine and going over some work emails when my phone buzzed. The caller ID flashed Lily's name. I smiled, eager to hear about her latest adventures, as she always had some drama or funny story to tell. But when I answered, there was something off about her voice. It was shaky, almost nervous. "Hey, Claire," she said, her voice quiet. I need to talk to you about something." "What's wrong?" "You sound weird." "It's just. I don't know how to say this. But it's about Derek." I felt a knot form in my stomach. "What about Derek?" I can't explain it right now. Just, please, be careful." Before I could respond, she hung up. I stared at the phone, confusion swirling in my mind. What was she talking about? Why was she being so cryptic? Lily had never been like this. She was always the one to tell me everything, no matter how awkward or uncomfortable. This was different. The next few days were a blur. I couldn't shake the unease that had settled in my chest. Something wasn't right. I tried to reach out to Lily, but she didn't return my calls or texts. Derek, too, seemed distant, though he always had a good excuse. Work was stressful, he was tired, or something else that made him unavailable. But I knew Derek. He was never like this. He was always so attentive, so loving. Then, I came home early one afternoon to surprise Derek with lunch, as I often did. But when I opened the door to our bedroom, I froze. My heart stopped, my body went numb. There, in the middle of our bed, was Derek, tangled in the sheets with none other than Lily. For a moment, time stood still. My breath caught in my throat, my eyes unable to process what I was seeing. They were kissing, no, not just kissing, they were in the throes of passion, oblivious to my presence. My best friend. My husband. Together. The rage that surged through me was unlike anything I had ever felt. It was raw, primal, a storm that clouded my judgment and filled me with an overwhelming urge to scream. "What the hell is going on here?" I shouted, my voice cracking. Both of them jumped apart in shock, eyes wide with panic. Derek's face went pale, and Lily's expression morphed into one of guilt, shame, and something else, something I couldn't quite place. "Claire, I can explain," Derek stammered, his voice trembling. I felt my blood boil, my hands shaking with fury. "Explain? Explain what? How long has this been going on? How long have you two been lying to me?" Lily didn't say anything. She just stood there, her eyes lowered, unable to meet my gaze. Derek, on the other hand, tried to approach me, but I stepped back, my hands held out in front of me as if to protect myself from the truth that was crashing down around me. "It's not what you think," he said, his voice desperate. "We didn't mean for this to happen, Claire. I love you. I swear I do." I shook my head, tears of anger welling up in my eyes. "Love me? You love me? Then why the hell were you in bed with her?" Lily finally spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "Claire, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean for this to happen, but we've been seeing each other for months. It just happened." I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. I stumbled back, gripping the doorframe to steady myself. "Months? You've been sleeping with my husband for months? And you, my best friend, how could you do this to me? How could you betray me like this? Lily's face crumpled with regret, but I didn't want her apologies. I didn't want her tears. I wanted the truth. The truth that had been stolen from me, the life I thought I had, ripped apart by the two people I loved most in the world. I never meant to hurt you, Lily whispered, her voice thick with emotion. I swear, I never wanted this to happen. But it had. It had happened, and there was no taking it back. For hours, we argued. Derek tried to explain, but I couldn't hear him anymore. His words were hollow, meaningless. I wanted to scream, to throw things, to make him feel the pain I was feeling. But instead, I just stood there, numb, as he tried to justify his betrayal. You ruined everything, I said quietly, my voice steady, though my heart was breaking. I trusted you. I loved you both. And you, I pointed to Lily, who was still standing there, looking like a shell of the woman I had once called my best friend. You knew. You both knew. And you did it anyway. Derek's eyes filled with tears. I never wanted to hurt you, Claire. I swear. I turned away, my head spinning. I needed air. I needed to escape the suffocating reality that my life had just been torn apart. I need to get out of here. I grabbed my purse and rushed out of the house, slamming the door behind me. I didn't know where I was going, only that I needed to get as far away from them as possible. I didn't speak to Derek or Lily for weeks after that day. I moved into a small apartment downtown, leaving behind the house we had bought together, the life we had built. I didn't want any reminders. I couldn't stand the thought of seeing them again. But even in my isolation, the pain didn't go away. It clung to me, suffocating me, reminding me that the people I trusted the most had shattered me in the worst way possible. It wasn't until I saw Derek's face on the news that I realized how much power I still had. He had gone public with their affair, claiming it was a mistake, that he had been confused. But it didn't matter anymore. The damage had been done. And the public apology wasn't going to fix what he had broken. One evening, I found myself sitting in a coffee shop, staring blankly at the cup in front of me, when my phone buzzed. It was a message from Lily. Claire, please talk to me. I miss you. I know I've ruined everything, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I never wanted to hurt you. Please, let's talk. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. It had been weeks since I had spoken to her, weeks since that horrible day when my world had come crashing down. Every inch of my body wanted to throw the phone across the room, to tell her how disgusted I was, how betrayed I felt. But something kept me from doing it. Maybe it was the tiny part of me that still missed the girl I had called my best friend, the girl who had been there for me through thick and thin. But that was gone now. The betrayal had erased it all. I felt my hands shake as I typed a response, but instead of fury, what came out was something more resigned, more painful. I don't know what you want from me, Lily. You've already destroyed everything. I can't just forgive you. The message felt final, but as soon as I hit send, my phone buzzed again. It was her. I could already feel the storm brewing. I don't expect forgiveness, Claire. I don't. But please, I need you to understand how much I regret everything. I don't know how to fix this, but I want to try. I just need you to hear me out. I owe you that much. I closed my eyes, leaning my head back against the chair. Regret. That word had no power anymore. She had chosen him. She had chosen Derek over me. There was no coming back from that. But the message didn't stop there. She kept going, as if she was trying to claw her way back into my life, into my heart. Please, I can't live with myself knowing I hurt you like this. You were my best friend, Claire. I betrayed you in the worst way, and I hate myself for it. But I'm not the same person I was. I just need you to see that. I didn't know what to think. The pain was still too raw, the betrayal still too fresh. Every word she wrote made me want to break down, but also made me feel like I was being manipulated. How could she possibly expect me to trust her again? How could she believe that after everything, would just let her back into my life? I typed back slowly, carefully, trying to keep my emotions in check. I don't know what you want from me, Lily. I've given you everything, and you threw it all away. You don't get to come back into my life just because you're sorry now. You broke me. I put the phone down, my fingers pressing against my temples. I needed a moment to breathe. But the phone buzzed again, a notification lighting up the screen. It was from Derek this time. Claire, please. We need to talk. I know I've destroyed everything, but I need to explain myself. I love you, and I made the biggest mistake of my life. I laughed bitterly, the sound escaping my lips like a dagger. Love? He loved me? If he truly loved me, he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have betrayed me with my best friend. I was about to ignore it when the next message popped up. It was Lily again. Please, Claire. I can't take this anymore. I've lost everything. If you don't want me in your life, I understand, but I need to tell you the truth. You deserve that. Derek and this wasn't planned. It was never supposed to happen. We were both weak. But it wasn't just about sex. It was about something more. We were both lost, Claire. We both were. Something inside me snapped. I had been silent long enough. I was tired of hiding my pain, of pretending I wasn't drowning in the suffocating waves of betrayal. I grabbed my phone and started typing furiously. Lost? You were both lost? What does that even mean? You think I care about your pathetic excuses? You've destroyed my marriage, my trust, my entire world. And you're trying to justify it? You can't fix this. You can't fix what you've done. I hit send before I could second-guess myself, and I felt the weight of the words settle over me. There was no going back now. But the next message came from Derek, and this time, it wasn't a plea for forgiveness. It was a confession. It wasn't just an affair, Claire. It wasn't just about sex or whatever you think it was. I fell in love with her. I did. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I can't undo what I've done. The words burned. They seared my soul, each one more painful than the last. He fell in love with her. My best friend. My closest confidant. How could I have been so blind? How could I have missed the signs? They were both right under my nose, lying to me, betraying me. I dropped the phone onto the table, feeling my body tremble with the force of my emotions. Anger, pain, disbelief, it all collided in my chest, a suffocating storm. The next few days were a blur. I barely left my apartment, spending hours staring out the window, thinking about everything that had happened. The life I had known was gone. There was no going back to it. I had to face the reality that the two people I had trusted most in this world had torn my life apart, and now, I was left to pick up the pieces. But then, one evening, as I sat on the couch, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was from Lily. I'm coming over tomorrow. We need to talk face to face. I know I don't deserve this, but please, let me explain everything. I stared at the message, my mind racing. What could she possibly say now? What explanation could she offer that would make this any better? But despite my better judgment, I knew I needed closure. I needed to hear her out, even if I hated every second of it. I needed to see her face, to hear the words come from her own lips, to understand the depth of the betrayal. The next day, Lily showed up at my door. Her eyes were red, her face pale, and she looked like she hadn't slept in days. She stepped inside without waiting for an invitation, her eyes never meeting mine. Claire, I don't know where to start, she said quietly, her voice trembling. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't deserve that. But I need you to understand that I never meant to hurt you. I folded my arms across my chest, leaning against the doorframe. Then why did you do it, Lily? Why? You've been my best friend for years, and you went behind my back with my husband. How do you even explain that? She choked back a sob, tears spilling down her cheeks. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't about you. It wasn't about trying to hurt you. But somewhere along the way, I lost myself. I thought I could fix everything, but instead, I ruined everything. I lost you. I lost Derek. And I can't take it back. I felt the anger rise up again, hot and bitter. You're right about one thing. You can't take it back. And I can't just forget it. You don't get to walk back into my life like nothing happened. You both betrayed me in the worst possible way. She stepped forward, her voice pleading. Please, Claire, I'm sorry. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need you to know that I regret everything. I miss you. I miss the friendship we had. And I can't bear the thought of losing you forever. I looked at her, really looked at her for the first time in weeks. The girl I once knew was gone, replaced by someone who had hurt me in ways I never thought possible. I shook my head slowly. I can't go back to who we were. I can't be that person anymore. I need to heal, and I need to do it without you. Without him. The silence between us was thick, heavy with the weight of everything unsaid. Goodbye, Lily, I said softly, turning away. I hope you find what you're looking for. But it won't be with me. As I closed the door behind her, I felt a strange sense of finality wash over me. It was over. It was finally over. And for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe again.